All right guys, welcome back. Today I'm out here to bring you a really awesome video. But first I want to say thanks for all the views, all the new subscribers, the old subscribers. Everybody lately has really been helping out a lot with the views and the comments and everything on the videos. It really means a lot. It takes a lot of time to make these videos, guys, and I really do enjoy doing it. But when I see the videos getting views and people comment and interacting, it really just makes me feel good, like people are getting something out of the videos. So I want to say thanks for that, and I couldn't do it without you. But today's video is brought to you by you, believe it or not. As some of you are probably aware that watch the channel, a couple weeks ago I put out a Ruger Mini 30 video, which is just going crazy, guys. The video is blown up. I think it's 150,000 views last I checked, which for me is just crazy. I really appreciate that. If you haven't checked out that video, please go check it out. I think it's a pretty decent one. But anyway, like I said, today's video is actually brought to you by you, the viewer. And what I mean by that is in that Ruger Mini 30 video, if you go to the comments section, it's just full of people commenting about the SKS rifle, which is also one of my favorite rifles. There's comments in there talking about the SKS being better, being worse, people just sharing their experience with the SKS. And that gave me the idea, you know, that, hey, people seem to really enjoy the SKS rifle. Why don't we put out a video about it, kind of talking about the SKS, doing some shooting and showing the SKS rifle to people who maybe aren't fortunate enough to live in an area where they have firearm freedoms. Maybe they live in a state where they are not allowed to exercise their fundamental Second Amendment right. Or perhaps they live in a country where owning firearms of any kind just simply is not an option. So I'm hoping that this video helps those people specifically to enjoy the guns and to experience them perhaps through the camera, even if they aren't allowed to experience them firsthand. So I hope that helps them out, and I hope everybody just enjoys watching the video in general. The SKS is one of my favorite guns, and it's really, really cool. One of the guns I kind of started on when I got into collecting milsurps. I've got a couple of examples out here for you. Got some ammo. We're going to run some ammo down range, take a few shots that you guys see the guns in action, talk about them a little bit of history, and just kind of share the guns with you. And hopefully you can appreciate them as much as I have over the years. But anyway, let's jump right into it and take a look at a few SKS rifles. I think you're really going to like this one, guys. All right, guys, first up is an old classic. If you've been around military surplus guns whatsoever, you will no doubt have seen or heard about the Chinese SKS. The Chinese Type 56 SKS to be specific. This rifle was introduced in 1956, as the name suggests, patterned after the Russian SKS. China made these. They made tons and tons of these rifles, guys. This is the most common SKS you'll see. At least it's the most common one I see. You often see these sporterized. People put them in different stocks, all kind of things like this. But this is an original configuration, original military configuration, as you see here. I was fortunate enough to pick this up from a coworker a few years ago who had it. He's a gun guy, but not a military collector or anything by any means, so I ended up buying this from him. The only thing that it had going on was the bayonet here was missing. And a lot of times on these rifles, you will see the bayonets are removed, and that's for import reasons. In order to import certain guns into this country, you have to meet import requirements and all this stuff, so you'll see the bayonets removed a lot of times. Fortunately, the lug here was not cut off. Unfortunately, a lot of times you will see with these imported SKS rifles, the bayonet lug is actually cut off, so you can no longer reinstall the bayonet later if you like. But fortunately, this one was here. I was able to source a bayonet and a spring and reinstall it. It's a very simple install. Really, really a neat rifle, guys. Very cool. Feeds from a 10-round fixed magazine here, and just a great rifle, one of my favorites, and that is your typical Chinese Type 56 SKS. That's the first one I've got out here for you. Let's take a look at one more rifle I brought out. All right, guys, another one of my favorites. I'm sure many of you have heard of this one. This is the Russian SKS. Very, very sought after rifle in the collector market, especially, guys. This one here, when I was working at the gun store, a customer came in to sell this. He had no use for it, wanted to sell it. And at the time, the Russian SKS was still one of my bucket list firearm collection targets, so to speak. This is one of the ones I wanted really bad in my collection, kind of one of my crown jewels. When I saw it come in with this beautiful laminate stock, this is a refurb obviously, but it was just such a pretty rifle, guys. I just knew I had to have it. The guy sold it to the store. I immediately talked to the owner and said, hey, you know, would I be able to buy that when it comes up for sale? He's like, yes, you can. And long story short, I ended up getting the rifle. So really an awesome gun. Introduced in 1949 in Russia, of course. This rifle, unfortunately, was almost immediately declared obsolete as the AK-47 was hot on its coattails, and just fundamentally a superior rifle. However, the SKS is still a great option, guys. One of my favorite rifles. Just a pretty gun. and you gotta love the SKS. So what we're gonna do now is load these up, send a few shots down range at the steel targets, let you guys see how they perform, and we'll talk a little bit more about each one. But for now, let's do some shooting and have a whole lot of fun with these guns, and I hope you're able to enjoy them as much as I am, guys. All right, guys, we got the Chinese SKS up first. We're gonna go ahead and send a few shots down range with this one. You can see just a really pretty rifle, guys. Kind of got a little bit of shade and a little bit of sun going on here, but yeah, just a beautiful rifle. These load 2 different ways, so you can load them single fire, of course, or single, 1 round at a time rather, just putting 1 round at a time down in there on the magazine, and that works fine. But they're designed to work with these stripper clips, guys. So this is a SKS stripper clip, and it's designed to interface with that slot cut in the bolt right there. So what we do is go ahead and slot our stripper clip in there, and it'll hold itself up. Take your thumb and just press down just like that, and you're pushing the rounds down into the magazine, and right there you're loaded up. Pull your stripper clip out, and you're loaded up with all 10 rounds, guys. These have a safety here on the trigger guard, forward for safe, back for fire. I like to go ahead and put it on safe. Go ahead and pull it back on your charging handle just slightly till you hear the click right there, and you let it go home, and now you're chambered with your first round, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put my other ear in, put my eyes on. We're gonna go ahead and send these rounds down range here at about 40 yards and see how this old Chinese SKS performs. I think it shoots a little high if I remember right. But let's see what we can do. See if I can do my part with this old gun, guys. Safety off. I'll send a few shots down range. Here we go. All right, definitely shoots a little high. All right, guys, she is clear. As you can see there, does lock open on an empty. The rifle's very accurate, guys. I know this is only 40 yards, but those smaller plates are only about 8 inches. And at this distance, the sight nearly covers the whole target. But once you figure out the hold on it, very, very accurate. These rifles are awesome guns, guys. I know a lot of people will kind of talk about these being junk guns or inaccurate or unreliable or any of that. That's just nonsense in my opinion. Great guns. Used to, I would say, great value for your money, but the price of these has gone so crazy. Like I said, you'll be lucky to find a Chinese such as this for $500 or less. So this is still going to be the cheapest SKS option you can find generally, unless you just find a crazy deal on something else. If you're a collector, I do highly recommend picking up an SKS. You need at least one in your collection, I think. But I would probably just buy the Chinese if you're kind of just a casual collector. It's going to be your cheapest option. But still a great, great rifle. These aren't stamped. These are all milled parts here. This is a milled receiver. No stamped receivers or anything like you see on a lot of modern guns. This has got some weight to it. Not too heavy, but a very comfortable gun to shoot, guys. The recoil impulse is just a simple push, not a hard kick. Very, very fun gun to shoot. If you like to shoot 7.62 x 39, you'll really enjoy shooting an SKS. Let's go ahead and grab that Russian and get some rounds down range through that one. And I'll let you know my thoughts kind of between the two. But either way, these SKS rifles are a blast to shoot, guys. I highly recommend you checking one out. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a few shots with this Russian SKS, kind of compare it to that Chinese one there, and kind of let you know what I think about the differences, if they shoot different or anything like that. As you can see, just a beautiful rifle. Got a little bit of sunlight here. Hopefully you can see kind of the stock colors and all in this. Just a really, really pretty gun, guys. One of my favorites to shoot. I just love to shoot any SKS. They're such fun guns. But the same loading procedure here. You can single load them, of course. I've got the stripper clip loaded back up here with 10 rounds. Same thing, we're gonna go ahead and slot it into the top of the bolt. Holds itself up, take your thumb, push them right on down into that magazine there, and you're loaded up with 10 rounds in the Russian SKS. I will say on this one, right off the rip, using the stripper clip, it is much smoother to load in this particular Russian SKS than it is in that Chinese. That's not necessarily a rule of thumb for Russians versus Chinese SKS, it's just for this particular rifle. It is smoother loading with the stripper clip on this one versus the Chinese. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and flip our safety to safe here, pull our charging handle back till we hear that click where it releases the follower right there, and we're gonna go ahead and let it go home. And now we're chambered, guys. I'm gonna throw my ear in, throw my eyes on, and we'll take a few shots here about 40 yards and see how the Russian SKS performs to the Chinese Type 56. Here we go, guys. Russian SKS. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. All right, guys, it's pretty rare. Caught that on camera. This one right here actually had a failure to feed there. Interesting, you don't really often see that. That was on the last round. As you can see here, pretty interesting. You don't often see that in an SKS, but you did see it here. Did put a small dent in the side of the case. Maybe you can see it kind of on either side. Hard to see there, guys. But I'm actually going to stick this round back in the magazine, and we're going to follow it up with another attempt and see if we can get that to feed properly, guys. I'm going to throw my ears and eyes on. Got it on safe. Let's see if it'll chamber. It did chamber. Yes, it did chamber. Let's see if we can fire that round, guys. Here we go. All right, the round did fire fine. She is clear. Occasionally we'll just run into strange things like that with any gun, guys. It's not this gun. I think what we'll do is load up 10 more rounds and see if we can get them to run clean, just to show you this rifle isn't bad. It's just a hiccup that happens, guys. This is the real world. I know a lot of channels will just have you believe that everything's perfect all the time, but in reality, things just happen. So let me load up 10 more rounds. We'll give this rifle one more shot, see if she can make it through all 10. I got a feeling that she can. All right, guys, I got 10 more rounds loaded up on that stripper clip. We're gonna go ahead and reset and give this Russian SKS another try. I know on that last shot where we had that malfunction, you'll probably notice a flinch a little bit. I know a lot of you guys will enjoy that in the comments, so go ahead and have a good time talking about that down there below. Doesn't bother me, guys. We all do it from time to time. And then if anybody tells you they don't, they're just lying to you and themselves. So here we go. Stripper clip inside the bolt there. Got her on safe. Go ahead and push it down. Very smooth to load. I will say that for sure. I do like the smoothness of this rifle loading with stripper clips. Got it on safe. Pull our charging handle back. Click. And we are charged. Go ahead and put my ear in here, guys. Put my eyes on. Make sure you're always wearing ears and eyes at the range, guys. You only get one set of each. So simple to just protect them on the front end, guys. Here we go. Safety off. Let's see if we can get these 10 rounds to go flawlessly. Here we go, guys. Uh-oh. So we did have that going again. That's interesting. So we do have, is that on the final round? Yeah, so that's on the final round. The rifle may need to be cleaned, guys. It did do that same thing where it pinched the round again. So I'm glad this is doing this for you on camera. This is real life. Sometimes things just happen. And we'll go home and clean the rifle and update in the comments. Probably just needs to be cleaned. I've shot this rifle many times over the years, and it doesn't really ever give me any issues. Let's just see if we can get this round to go off. Got it down there, put it on safe, chambered. Let's go ahead and put our ears and eyes back on and give it another shot here, guys. Off safe. Let's see if we can fire that round. Okay, so the round did fire. It wasn't a problem with the round. Just the follower down there, it's probably just a little bit dirty, guys. I will go home and clean the rifle. I clean them all after every time at the range anyway, but putting that aside, the little malfunction we had there aside, as far as the rifles go, so what I noticed when I shoot this rifle, let me take this other ear out. What I noticed shooting this rifle versus the Chinese is I feel this one in my hand just feels more comfortable. So right here on the wrist of the stock, this is much slimmer. And so I feel a little bit more, like I have a little bit more control of this rifle when I'm holding it. Same thing up here on the fore end through here. It is much slimmer than on that Chinese, so it just fits my hand a little bit better. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but here's the rifle side by side. So here on your left is the Chinese, on the right is the Russian. Don't know if you can see the difference in the thickness of those stocks, but the Russian is noticeably thinner feeling in the hand when you're holding it. So I do like that. The trigger on the Russian is also slightly better. When I switch from shooting the Chinese to the Russian, I notice that I oftentimes will flinch a little bit on the first shot or so with the Russian, because the trigger's a little bit different feel. It does feel good, but overall, the rifles are excellent, guys. I don't think you can go wrong with any SKS. If you're a casual collector or just somebody that likes guns but isn't deep into collecting historical guns and you want an SKS, I would highly recommend getting that Chinese SKS over there. It will still be your most economical option as far as owning an SKS. The Russians, the Yugos even, some of the rarer variants, you're gonna be spending $1,000 or oftentimes well over $1,000 for one. The Chinese, you can still get lucky and find them for about $500. So I'd go that route. However, if you are a hardcore collector, kind of like I am, I really think you just need to have one of each variant. That's what I'm trying to do. Some of them are very hard. Like the German SKS is a very tough one to find and stuff like that. So I'm kind of always on the hunt, keeping my eyes out for SKSs, guys. But great rifles overall. And again, we are shooting everybody's favorite ammo out here today. Steel case. This is Tula ammo, of course. This is new ammo. It's not, this is not old stock or military surplus. You can see I do properly store these. And these, what do we have? These are the case guard ammo cans right here. They do latch. They do have a water seal there on top of the lid, and I do run these desiccant bags inside of all my ammo storage. So the ammo is stored properly. It's good quality ammo. This is the same ammo I was shooting out of for the Mini 30 video. Good stuff right here, guys, especially for shooting in Russian guns or AKs. Runs great. Again, the stripper clips for these, this is a universal stripper clip essentially. On all your SKSs, they'll all use this same type of stripper clip. So if you have a Chinese, a Russian, a Yugo, whatever, they'll all run this same stripper clip, guys, and these can be had for very cheap. You can buy like 20 pack of these for $20 or $25 or something. Last time I checked, the price may be different. I haven't bought any in a while, but these are pretty cheap. They're just little stamped steel pieces that are formed to work as a stripper clip. A must have if you have SKSs, guys. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know if you have an SKS, if you've ever fired one. Maybe if you want to get one, let me know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below if this video helped you, if you enjoyed it. Let's start up a conversation in the comments. I really like interacting with y'all down there. Share the video with your friends. If you know somebody who's into guns or may find this video useful or may just enjoy watching it, please share it. I'm trying to get the channel to grow and reach more people. I'm trying to put out more videos more often, more frequently. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. But anyway, if there's something you guys want to see in a future video, let me know. I'm always looking to kind of improve and show new and better stuff and all that. So just give me some of your comments down below. I do read them all and try to respond to as many as I can. But in the meantime, next time you're in your local gun store and you happen to see an SKS over there, reach over there and check it out, guys. A very cool gun. And if the price is right, consider taking it home. They're not making any more of these. They're very cool guns, oftentimes full of a lot of history. And they're very, very enjoyable at the range, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Check back frequently for more videos. And in the meantime, go check out an SKS rifle. I don't think you'll be disappointed, guys. Very cool guns.